7 to 8 years of age when I started. I think most of the guys in Sweden that have been on skates, I'm not one of the best one, that's for sure.
Stefan, is there anything either on or off the court that has surprised you since you started coaching in regards to Roger Federer? And what has been the most rewarding aspect of your partnership thus far with him?
Well, I said it in the past, what is great is still have the determination to go out there and work hard and still have the motivation, which I think is something that's really, really important as he sort of gets towards the end of the stage. And the way he is as a person, on and off court. So it's been a great experience so far.
Are you enjoying being a coach more than you thought you would?
I wouldn't. Let's say it's nothing that I thought that I ever would do, but obviously being around Roger and the way he is as a person on and off court, and it's actually been a very, very good journey so far. And the great thing is that he had a lot of troubles with injuries last year, and he's been healthy, and I think that's really been a key factor why he's playing so much better than he did last year. And so it's been good to see him making some progress this year, and as we all know, he was very, very close winning at the Wimbledon. It was 1 or 2 points that made a difference in that final, which was one of the better finals I've watched in the past in many, many years. So, but that's the way it is in tennis. I still believe the way he's playing, and if he can keep working and stay healthy, he's got a shot of doing very well here going forward. It's an important week this week as well. Well, I would say I'm sort of part of the team. He's got Severin who does most of the work. I would say that's really the main coach that he has, which is sort of with him, and I sort of step in a few weeks we do together. I'm here on my own this week, and I think I'm coming in probably with a few ideas, how he can handle different things, maybe technically in a few small things, but it's. I can't make that much of a difference, but a little bit of a difference I think I can make, and it's been good so far.
We're seeing that tennis is such a mental game. Is there anything on the mental side that you help him out with?
Well, I think through experience there are certain things, and sometimes it can be things that you don't think about, and it's also about improving at this stage of your career. There's still room for improvements. There are certain things that we have sort of been talking about within the group that we've sort of been working on, and the way he plays, and so there are certain things still to work on, which is always in and just keep things in check, so to say.
Steph, when you
were a lot more.
That's true.
But I think looking back, I think we had a great time, during the 80s and 90s, and it was really easy traveling, being a lot of Swedes around. And as a group, I think we're pretty tight. We practice a lot together. We're supporting each other. So I think it's a very unique time, and I think there's a chance now with the guys in Canada here that they can do the same journey, and hopefully you can fill in with some new youngsters taking up the game of tennis. So it should be a very exciting time for Canadian tennis going forward now, and get some momentum, and usually it feeds on, so it should be good. Swedish tennis is quite incredible. He really was the one that broke through, and then obviously that made us play tennis, and he sort of was the idol of many of us. I mean, he was a hero, and he was somebody that you can look up to, so he was of great importance for Swedish tennis. And then we all know about the generation that came after him, which was quite incredible if you think back, because I've had that question so many times, why we were so good at the time in the 80s, and I didn't really have the answers back then, but now when I think back, I think it had a lot to do with, we had great coaches at home, we had great environment, we had a lot of indoor facilities being built, and it was just a lot of momentum at the moment, doing the right things and maybe working a bit harder than other nations. So I didn't realize at the time when it was happening, but now when I think back, it was the best of all times, and those things probably never going to come back in 100 years. We're still going to produce some great players, but not to the same extent. It it was just a unique period of time. I think it's been good to be back on the tour in many ways. To work with Roger, which is fantastic, and be part of the game, which I've sort of been away from, and at the same time having some of the former players doing a job out there, and obviously Boris. So it was quite a day when you think about it. You know, being on center court again in the players' box, sitting in the final, and Boris on the opposite side. So it was a good feeling to be back in the final again. But it's so much different now because. I don't feel it like a rivalry when you did at the time when you were playing, so it's very different this time around. Yeah, definitely. I mean, at least to us, Davis Cup has been a lot of importance. Obviously, maybe things are a little bit different today, but I've been all for it, for him to play Davis Cup, because it's a great competition. You're being part of a team, and they have a chance to win it this year with Stan and Roger together. So. It's a great opportunity, but I think to give it a chance to win it at least once before, and I think Stan feels the same way, and I think it's been a very good year. I think it's been good for his tennis. It's been good for a lot of things, and it's always great to have the best players playing in Davis Cup, because if Davis Cup is going to grow and be there for the future, you need the best to play and enjoy playing, and I think they both have enjoyed it, and I know they definitely want to win it. For many ways it's worse sitting in the stands because you can't really do anything. Sometimes you wish you could, but it's actually been okay. But I think the final, there was a lot of feelings there because of Wimbledon final. But it's okay. I think sometimes because I had my son playing tennis, that's been even tougher. But apart from that, it's quite good. But you want him to do well. So it's a different feeling, but it's been good so far.